This is Abba Leiter again, talking to you about the Rambam and concluding on human perfection somewhat, or the perfections as it were. But now I'm going to take a little bit of a shift to tell you how the lighters and the Rambam's four perfections work out in a Drush situation. It's very interesting. And then I'll mention something else about human emotions, which is very, very beautiful in the Shmona Prakim. And it's somewhat related, but it's just an interesting vignette. My Zayde, who is the Dayan in Lemberg, Reb Noson Nuta Leiter, he put out a sefer, Ma'oris Noson, in the mid-30s. He was killed by the Nazis, unfortunately. But he also had, at the end of his tshuvas, and that was a very big town, Lemberg, Lvov, and a very choshev one, but he had a few drush werter. He put out a little booklet in Yiddish, which had an askama from the Chofetz Chaim, and he did it without his name on it, and the Reb Chaim Oizer, to tell the people, in Lemberg what they should be doing, whether it had to do with Shabbos, or even tefillin, or not shaving with a razor. Yeah, it was going on in Lemberg in the early 30s. He didn't like talking about it, he said, but ein bias asher ein shom geluach. We have to say something, okay? He had a knack for Drush too. Beautiful knack. Anyway, there's a piece in his sefer at the end of in the major sefer of the Tshuvas, where he talks about a very interesting issue. Lo chorbo Yerushalayim ela mipnei sinat chinam. We all have heard that maimer. The only reason Yerushalayim became chorb, or that was the final blow, was the sinas chinam, needless hatred. A lot of different people say, whatever they have to say. Hatred without foundation, hatred because you're not like me, hatred because of some stupid, silly, foolish, ridiculous so-called reason. That's generally, the understanding. Different people have deeper understandings of that and say a pshat. His pshat, that is Reb Noson Nuta's pshat, was like this. He said that sometimes people do things, work with other people in general, for financial reasons. And sometimes they do it for physical reasons. They get some kind of pleasure out of working with another person, a physical pleasure. In other words, their recompense, their salary, or their what they get paid off on is either physical or financial. Right? The two perfections. Or, number 3, you get together with people of your own stripe, people of your chevra who think and do like you do, and he calls it, interestingly enough, and he knew Hebrew quite well. When my father grew up as a baby, he was speaking Lashon Kodesh in the house when he's literally a baby, okay? Because his mother and father were doing it. And this is quite a long time ago, okay? The end of in the 1890s, because he was born 1891, my father. Well, he says like this, people in the political realm, they slap each other on the back, or if somebody's not in the same parasha, they push him out of a controlling position. They don't let him get a chance to open up his mouth to say a word, okay? No, we won't let him say anything. Well, excuse, we had an interruption here for a second. Thanks for taking the phone. Well, here's his pshat. These people, they're part of what you call the Mishchak Hamaflagakti. the political jokery, the shtick that goes on in politics. You'll work with me, I'll work with you, you'll pat my back, I'll pat yours. That's the way they get paid off. They heighten themselves in the eyes of the public, and they go up, and sometimes at the expense of the public. But that's their payoff. So these things, these three things, physical, financial, and the Beinonim L'Chaveru, the Medosius, they're messing, they're looking for a payoff. Okay? Then there's number 4. How does it come in? Where does the true perfection come in? He says, the reason why the city of Yerushalayim was Nechrav was because of Sinat Chinom. People despised the whole idea of doing something without a payoff. The Bechinom they despised. The altruistic they despised. There has to be a payoff, either physical, financial, or Medosius. Somehow it's got to come back to me. It's for me, not because it's right, not because this is what the call wants, not this is because where the Torah wants us to do something, for the Rabbi Shalom has said, do it. No. It's me. I. So that's right over there, the lighters, even in the Drush. If you read closely, that Drush, it really comes in with the 4 perfections. It's right there. He doesn't say anything about it, but it's there. I like it very much, obviously, and I think it's a very simple way. Perhaps we can end this right here and now. We don't have to go any further. I think we'll save the Reich, which is a little bit beyond this realm, very interesting, but I think we've made our point. It's all over the place, these perfections, whether it's in Drush, whether it's in Motzi Shemra, a major mitzvah which is going on a lot in the world today here and all over the world, unfortunately, or it's in another area, the all-encompassing area of tshuva, which is so important. This is a substratum that really holds up and is mavasis the whole Jewish framework. And the Rambam alludes to it all over. That's what I asked Rabbi Kapach. It's alluded to all the way through these different Chaburim. Why do you just come out with it at the end? And he said, tippin. He wants you to be prepared a little. He wants you to think a little bit like it says we should, and maybe you'll be even better prepared to grasp it at the end and put it all together and give it a nice cast and make it more understandable and more vital and more significant in every single way, and it'll impress you and you will learn something for yourself more easily. You'll be machshav it more. You'll realize the value of what he is telling you. He's doing it for you. He's putting it on the table. Eat.